Should you buy a condo? And what even is a condo? Hey guys, it's Josh Brost with Keller Williams Madison Realty here in Madison, Wisconsin. And in this video, we're going to be diving into the whole idea of condos, whether you should buy one, whether it's right for you. But I just hit a new milestone in my YouTube journey, 100 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Doesn't seem like a lot, but hopefully it's the start to something bigger. And I upgraded my backdrop a little bit. We got a plant in the right corner here. Got new color lights. I used to do blue, now we're doing purple. I think it matches really well. So what is a condo? When you think of condo, you may think of high-rise apartments in New York, Chicago, Miami that cost well over millions of dollars. But a condo can be all different types, all different sorts to really be labeled as a condo. The general description I use for a condo is an owner will buy a condo and they own that specific unit within an entire association. You don't own the land associated with it. You don't own the exterior. You don't own the other units that are a part of the association. You just own your specific unit. So if it's a garden style condo, think of it like an apartment that you own is the best way to look at it. Then each of those condos are underneath what's known as a condo association, otherwise known often as a homeowners association. This condo association often has roles associated with it. One could be a president, one could be a vice president, one could be a treasurer, a secretary, and all of those roles have distinct features and duties to make sure the association is up and running smoothly. Now, each association is going to be different, but in general, those people are voted on by other unit owners to take on those roles. They're often in charge of enforcing rules if there's any complaints that come up. They're in charge of hiring people to do work. They're in charge of setting up meetings. They're in charge of setting up the budget, making sure they're within budget, getting the insurance for the condos. They're very important, and it's a very thankless job, I would say. So if you're a part of an association and you're one of those role members, just know I understand. It's a lot of work when it comes to being a board member. These are often volunteer positions. You often don't get paid to be on the board, but a lot of the work to make sure your condo association's up and running smoothly falls onto you guys. Let's put this into an example. So let's say you have a condo association of 25 units. Each of these 25 units get 1/25 of voting power when it comes to decision making. Basically, that means everyone gets one vote and then they add up the total votes, and whatever the majority votes as far as rule changes or policy changes, then the association determines it based on a majority vote. Some things that could be voted on are special assessments, new improved siding, roof, adding stuff. So if they wanted to add a tennis court or a pickleball court, or added a street parking or a parking lot. These are things that often get voted on amongst all of the unit owners. When you think of condos in Wisconsin, the main types of condos are garden style, which are your very traditional apartment looking condos. You have townhome style, so these are the ones where you walk in, it's more private. Usually you're met by stairs right away. But it's your unit. You're not going up elevators to get to your unit very often. Townhome is you enter from the street right into your unit most likely. And then there's a bunch of townhomes that are connected, often by a shared wall. Then there's also some standalone condos. Obviously, standalone means it's standing alone from other condos. So think of it like a single family home, but you're within a condo association. So that may come with, maybe it has a swimming pool, or maybe it has tennis courts. Maybe they cut your grass for you. So you could have what looks like a single family home, but it's a part of a condo association. And oftentimes with those standalone condos, you would end up being responsible for the exterior, the siding, the roof, the front door, all that stuff that's not with a typical condo. And then sometimes you'll see a duplex situation. So it looks like a normal house, but it's a duplex where one person owns one half of the duplex, the other person owns the other half of the duplex, and they're shared by what's known as a party wall or a shared wall. Not all of these are on condo associations, but sometimes they are within a condo association. Other times they're just treated as a single family home. So what you own within your condo is going to depend on the style of the condo that you have. It's pretty easy to just think whether it's a townhome, a garden style, you're most likely going to be responsible for the interior walls, so the drywall, the mechanical appliances, your kitchen appliances, any cosmetic updates you do from the interior, that would all come onto you, which is great because you can decide what color to paint your walls, what kitchen cabinets and counters you want. So you're not really limited to going to get approval from a board in most cases. For the garden and townhome styles, often you are not responsible for the exterior, which means siding, roof, gutters, sidewalk, driveway if there's a driveway, garage doors, any stuff that you can see from the exterior. And usually that is a split cost by all the unit owners. So typically how that works, say a roof needs to be replaced on one of the units and there's 4 that are attached there, the association will issue what's known as a special assessment to be paid by all unit owners. So even if it doesn't affect you directly, so if you're on a different unit but you're within the same association, oftentimes the special assessment will be issued to you as well. Say the roof costs $100,000 and there's 25 units total. They would take the $100,000 amount, divide it by each unit owner equally, so 25 unit owners, and then they will issue that special assessment. You can either pay that special assessment outright, you can increase your HOA fee monthly to pay it over time, you can make certain installments. It really just depends on the association and how they kind of issue that special assessment. Another example of a special assessment could be maybe they want to add balconies to all of the units, so they will issue each unit equally a special assessment to pay for the cost of those balconies. The good thing is oftentimes your special assessment is not going to cost nearly the same amount as what it would cost if you were to get a roof replacement on your own. The one downside to it is that even if you don't need your own roof replaced, oftentimes you'll still end up paying a little bit into that special assessment. Also, one note, if your condo association has pretty healthy reserves or a reserve balance, basically they're collecting these HOA fees, and if there's any room left over to save money, they'll put it oftentimes in a reserve account, and this is reserved for major fixes that may come up in the future to hopefully avoid special assessments. That way they can just pull from that pool of money and they don't have to charge their unit owners a special assessment when they're thinking of doing something. Kind of alluded to it already, but for a standalone condo, you would often be responsible for the entire unit itself, which means the roof, the siding, anything that's on the exterior would most likely be your case. But on the flip side, you're probably not going to run into nearly as many special assessments as you would with a garden or a townhome style. And then that shared wall duplex situation that I spoke about, oftentimes that shared wall agreement will have, who takes care of what and the guidelines of how you guys go about if you need to replace an entire roof. Oftentimes you'll just meet with the next door neighbor, you'll come up with a date and time that would work best for everybody. And the tricky part is oftentimes with those situations, you have to match siding colors and siding choices. So it's a little bit more coordination with your next door neighbor. So why would anyone buy a condo? Well, condos are great if you're starting out for a first-time home buyer. Maybe you're making a transition from apartment living to condo, but you don't really feel comfortable taking on an entire house by yourself. Condos are a great option because you're not nearly as responsible for more things as far as the exterior goes. So it's a little bit easier to maintain things in a condo. Maybe you're just longing for a sense of community. Condo associations are typically pretty close-knit, especially if you've been there for a long time. You are pretty close to your neighbors in most cases as well, so you'll often see your neighbors, you'll get to interact with them on a frequent basis, as opposed to if you had your own specific house. Another pro is that unless you're buying a top floor penthouse condo, they're typically pretty affordable. And that has to do with the taxes. Usually the taxes are a little bit lower on condos. They're usually not as sought after if you have large families because they're usually on the smaller side. Usually they don't have a yard, but you also don't own any yard space, so your taxes are really only on the unit you own itself, often making them lower. Another pro is that if you like amenities, so if you like having a pool but you don't want to maintain a pool, it's a great option to have because you wouldn't be stuck with that entire maintenance cost of a pool, cleaning it, making sure it's chlorinated properly. So definitely a condo could be a great option for a lot of people, but it may not be the best option for you. Maybe you have a dog or a couple of dogs, or maybe they're big dogs. Oftentimes condos will restrict pets, whether it's by breed or by weight or by the number of dogs or cats that you can have. So if you are someone with a lot of pets, maybe they need a lot of space to be active, a condo may not be the best option for you. Like I said earlier, oftentimes condos will not have their own specific yard. Sure, maybe they'll have a shared park space or a shared dog park even, but it's just not the same, especially if you get cold winters like in Wisconsin. I also get a lot of people coming to me because condos are a lot cheaper often than single family homes. They can usually cash flow pretty well when it comes to an investment. However, the rental restrictions on many condos are strict. And as a unit owner, you should honestly be thankful for that, because the more strict they are in rentals, the more upkept your condo association will be. You won't get so much turnover as far as new people coming in and out. It will be viewed more as a single family home when you go to sell, as opposed to just another apartment. So as far as getting lending on it, you'll want to see those lower rental numbers within the entire association. That's why a lot of these units have those rental restrictions, whether it's no rentals at all, or maybe you have to live with, maybe you have to own and live in the unit for 3 years, and then you can only rent it out for a year after, and then that's it. There's a lot of restrictions and certain ways they can go about putting in those rental rules in place. So if you are looking to own something to eventually rent out later in the future, I wouldn't bank on a condo. Another thing with condos is that those HOA rules constantly change. So even if you get into a condo that says they allow rentals, the next meeting cycle, which is typically every year, they can meet and decide, yep, we're having issues with renters. We're not going to let anyone else rent their units anymore. Now you're kind of stuck because you only have 1/25th of a vote if it's a 25 unit complex, and you're the only person that wants rentals. Well, 24 other people don't want rentals allowed, and you're kind of stuck. So you'd either have to stay there or end up selling it. Another downside to a condo is those HOA fees. They can get quite expensive, and honestly, once they go up, they're not coming back down. So your condo may be worth $250,000, but if you have a $500 HOA fee, that's gonna put a lot of normal $250,000 no HOA fee buyers out of your market. Think about it, that's $500 more a month on top of your mortgage payment that these buyers would have to end up paying. Now, hopefully that $500 HOA fee comes with a pool or something cool like that, but not all the time. Sometimes it's just to beef up the reserves a little bit, pay for the insurance. Maybe they're planning on putting in a pool and they're just starting to increase the HOA fee. And because you are a part of an association made up of like-minded condo unit owners, you don't have full control of what happens to exteriors of buildings or whatever they plan on doing. If you don't agree to something, there's still a chance that it could happen. So, is a condo right for you? Only you can make that choice. I see a lot of people enjoy condos. Maybe they're getting older, empty nesters, they have a 4,000 square foot house and they want to downsize to a one level, easy entry condo. It's a great option for you. Maybe they even have pickleball courts or tennis courts, and maybe that's part of your hobbies. You don't have to go 2 miles away to go to your nearest pickleball court. That would be a great option for you if you are looking for something like that. I know in the Madison market, single family homes, you can't really find them under $300,000 at this point. So if you're in that price point of anywhere from late 100s to early to late 200s, condos may be a good option for you because that's affordable and it's what you would be comfortable paying monthly. So if you're looking at a mortgage payment that just doesn't make sense for a single family home at this time, buy a condo, get an appreciating asset under your belt, live in there for 3 to 5 years, and then move out later on to upgrade to that single family home. Or maybe you're someone that just doesn't like maintenance. Maybe you just rather do the cosmetic updates in the interior of your home and not have to worry about the big expensive fixes of a roof or a siding all on your own. Then a condo would be another great option for you because, like I said, those big ticket items on the exterior are often split amongst all the unit owners. But if you have a large family or some pets that aren't allowed in the certain condo association, or you want some privacy, you're probably better off in a single family home. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my new setup here, the plant, the light. If you guys have any further questions on what a condo is, feel free to drop them in the comments. Condos could vary from state to state, so I'm just going off of experience here in Wisconsin. And if you're thinking about moving to the Badger State, feel free to give me a message. Check out my Linktree. Link is in the description below. Be sure to subscribe to future videos. Be here when my kitchen comes in to see my house renovations and hopefully inspire you guys to take on a granny special. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video.